time when the national politics has been rippled by the fake Bhutanese refugee scam, chairpersons of major political parties Nepali Congress, CPN UML and CPN Maoist Centre have held a parley at the official residence of the Prime Minister today. According to the Secretariat of the Prime Minister, the meeting delved into topics including bills pending at the lower house. However, questions are rife regarding the motive behind the meetings. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Police intensify search for UML Secretary Raimaji, alleged of involvement in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam after pressure from lawmakers. Questions raised over the intention behind the meeting between top brass leaders. 7 decades since the implementation of rule of law, general public have yet to feel confidence in the justice system. 30,000 cases still pending at the Supreme Court. Ministry of Labour and Employment gears up to scrap the free visa, free ticket provision. Experts voice against the step, saying it will add unnecessary burden on workers. And Jaulakal moves back to the top of A Division League, defeating Himalayan Sherpa 1-0. NRT plays a goalless draw with 3-star. Sankata defeats Sadubato. Police have expedited their search for CPN UML Secretary and former Deputy Prime Minister Top Bahadur Raimaji, who is alleged of involvement in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam and has remained at large. Raimaji, who had in fact left Arghakhachi for Kathmandu, absconded from Butwal. Police have raided his house at Lalitpur today. According to police headquarters, a team of the Central Investigation Bureau has also been deployed for Raimaji's search. Police is investigating the fake Bhutanese refugee scam as an organized crime and is preparing a case also against Raimaji even if he is not arrested. Top Bahadur Raimaji's son, Sandeep Raimaji, has already been arrested and is in judicial custody. The former Deputy Prime Minister's close ties with masterminds of the fake Bhutanese refugee scam, Keshav Dulal and Sanu Bhandari, has already come to the fore. Meanwhile, police has also intensified investigations against Balkrishna Panthi, the coordinator of the committee formed to address the issues of Bhutanese refugees after the entity and its members' works were also found suspicious. Investigation is also underway against Panthi and Ganesh Bahadur Kesi, as the committee had added 429 individuals in the list of Bhutanese refugees when it did not have any jurisdiction to do so. Police is recording statements from then Secretary Teknarayan Pandey and Indrajit Rai, Security Advisor of erstwhile Minister for Home Affairs Ram Bahadur Thapa. Meanwhile, Prime Minister and CPN Maoist Centre Chair Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa and CPN UML Chair KP Sharma Oli have held a dialogue at the official residence of the Prime Minister in Baluatar today. At a time when senior political leaders are being drawn into controversy for their alleged involvement in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam, today's meeting between Dahal, Dewa and Oli is being looked at with lenses of suspicion in social media platforms. The three top leaders held talks for around an hour and a half at Baluatar this morning. However, official information about the parley has not been released. According to the Prime Minister's Secretariat, the three leaders discussed about the Parliamentary Hearing Committee and the bills pending at the lower house. Questions have surfaced regarding if the three leaders are conspiring to protect those alleged of corruption. However, sources at the office of the Prime Minister have said that no entity could apply any pressure on a case being investigated by the police. Members of the House of Representatives have urged CPN UML Secretary and former Deputy Prime Minister Top Bahadur Raimaji, against whom an arrest warrant has been issued, to turn himself in and assist in the police investigation into the fake Bhutanese refugee scam. Addressing today's session of the lower house, Janata Samajwadi Party's lawmaker Pradeep Yadav said that absconding only hinted towards Top Bahadur Raimaji's involvement in the scam. He added that the Nepal police had to arrest CPN UML Secretary and former Deputy Prime Minister Raimaji at the earliest. Lawmakers also called for actions against everyone involved in the scam and expressed concerns towards the effort of those involved to protect each other. Nepali Congress General Secretary and member of the House, Bishop Prakash Sharma, said that the state should implement a policy for strong actions against those involved in corruption. Urging to conclude the scam with required procedures, Sharma called for ensuring that actions were taken against the guilty, while those not involved were not dragged into controversies. Addressing the 0 hour of the Parliament session, other members of the lower house drew the government attention towards issues of public concerns, including roads, bridges and health facilities, among others. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we'd asked you, why have the farmers not benefited from the research works of the Nepal Agriculture Research Council? 58% voted for option A, lack of information, 5% for B, lack of trust and reliability, and 37% for C, no coordination. And here's today's question. What's your take on parties not issuing official statements despite the alleged involvement of their leaders in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam? Your options are A, heights of lack of accountability, B, fear of leadership being alleged of involvement, and C, waiting for legal processes. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It's been 7 decades since the government and political parties began advocating for judicial independence and rule of law. The Law Day is observed on the 26th of Nepalese month of Baisakh every year since the Supreme Court was established back in the Nepalese year 2009. The judiciary, despite the lapse of these many years, has yet to make the judicial system time relevant, let alone ensure the implementation of rule of law. The general public lack confidence in the judiciary despite changes in the political scenario in the country. 30,000 cases are still pending at the Supreme Court alone. Among them, more than 6,000 cases have been pending since over 5 years. Many victims have turned old as they continue to make rounds of the court hoping for a verdict. Meanwhile, political interference in the judiciary has only increased, as it is evident in the appointment of justices. The position of 5 justices, including the Chief Justice at the Supreme Court, 42 judges at High Courts, including 6 Chief Judges, and 40 judges at District Courts have remained vacant due to lack of consensus regarding power share. Likewise, more than 20,000 cases filed at the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, CIA, are also still pending. Verdict on 577 cases that had been forwarded to the special court is still awaited, as 36 cases of money laundering are pending as well. This, experts opine, has made a mockery of rule of law. Cases have also piled up at courts amid ineffectiveness of the judicial committees formed at the local levels. In our Public Voice segment today, on the occasion of Law Day, we've asked people in several provinces what they think of the state of implementation of laws in the country. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
राज्य पक्षबाट त यो कानुनलाई अब भन्ने हो भने धजी नै उडाइराखेका छन्।
कुनै पनि कारणले होस् बहानाले होस् तपाईको टार्ने काम भइरहेको छ।
पहिला मान्छेहरु कानुन देखेर डराउँथे, आज भोलि डराउँदैनन्।
अदालतमा चाहिँ हाम्रो फाइलहरु वर्षौंदेखि अड्किने, नेताहरुको चाहिँ ठूला बडाउँदाहरुको चाहिँ फाइल छिनभरमै काम हुने पाइरहेको छ।
कमी कमजोरी जुन छ हाम्रो सुधारात्मक जुन छ, हामी सम्पूर्ण कानुन व्यवसायी समेतले हामी लागि परेका छौं।
कानुन बनाउने मान्छेले त कानुन मान्दैन भनी अब सबै आफै जान्ने जस्तो गर्छ।
कुनै पनि कानुनको परिपालना भएको त मैले देखे छैन।
न्याय पाउन अहिले पनि बहुत कठिन छ।
ठूला नसुनेको छ नमानेको छ।
गरिब जनताहरुले चाहिँ एकदम धेरै कानुनहरु मान्नुपर्छ, फलो गर्नुपर्छ।
कानुन त मानेछ तर पहिले जस्तो छैन।
धनी वर्गको मान्छेहरु चाहिँ अब भागेर हुन्छ कि कसरी हुन्छ त्यो उम्किने कानुनबाट त्यस्तो चाहिँ छ।
ठुलाको लागि कहाँ छ, हाम्रो गरिबको लागि छ।
दलितको माथिको कानुनको बारेमा सबै कानुनमा लेखिया छ तर गाउँघरमा लागू भएको छैन।
संवैधानिक अङ्गमा बसेका व्यक्तिहरुले निजामती क्षेत्रमा रहेको कर्मचारीहरुले कानुनको हुबहु पालना गर्दैको भए अहिले यो भ्रष्टाचारहरु बढ्ने थिएन।
आफ्नो मान्छे छ भने त्यो कानुन मिचेर काम भइहाल्छ। आफ्नो मान्छे ठाउँमा छैन भने त्यो मान्छे खेर गइहाल्छ।
विगतको भन्दा कानुनहरु त प्रयोग भएकै छन्, लागू भएकै छ।
सानोलाई थिचमिच छ।
And moving on, the government implemented free visa, free ticket provision some 8 years ago with the intention of relieving migrant workers from financial burden. Now the government is preparing to scrap the provision and has formed a task force for a review to the provision. The provision was first introduced after complaints from migrant workers headed for Gulf nations and Malaysia, saying that manpower agencies had taken up to 500,000 rupees from them for visa processes. Minister for Labour and Employment Sharat Singh Bhandari has said manpower companies had continued to charge hefty fees from migrant workers despite the free visa, free ticket provision. Based on agreements signed with the government of Malaysia, UAE, Jordan, among others, employers in these destinations must bear all the costs of visa processing and travel for workers from Nepal. Experts have called on the government to monitor the implementation of this agreement and to forge similar agreements with other destination countries. Every day, around 2,000 youths leave Nepal for employment abroad. Nepalese working abroad send around 1 trillion rupees in remittance. Manpower agencies had staged a sit-in protest at the Department of Foreign Employment for almost 15 days when the government back then reduced service fees for Gulf nations and Malaysia to 10,000 rupees from a maximum of 80,000. Now, as the ministry is preparing to scrap the free visa, free ticket provision, experts have warned applicants of foreign employment will be burdened with unnecessary financial pressure.
Sports News.
Jaulakhel Youth Club has clinched its first victory after 4 matches, defeating Himalayan Sherpa 1-0 and has climbed atop the points table. Jaulakhel opened its account in the 22nd minute, which became the only goal in the match. The club has 27 points from 16 matches. Himalayan Sherpa has dropped to the 8th position following today's loss. In another match, new road team NRT played a goalless draw with 3 Star. Meanwhile, 3 Star Club has terminated contract with striker Santosh Sahu Khala. Coach Meghraj Casey has said that the contract with Santosh has been terminated as a result of disciplinary action against him. Coach Casey said that the club has ended contract with Sahu Khala after the striker failed to abide by the code of conduct. He has been alleged of misbehavior. Sahu Khala had arrived Nepal from Japan to participate in the 8th Division League. He is the club's highest goal scorer and had returned to join the club after 7 years. The club says that he had thrown a fit after he was substituted during the match with Kumaltar Youth Club. Up next is the weather update. All for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.